All right, so welcome to the Ultraman Q&A. I want to thank everyone who sent in questions, and if you'd like to be part of the next Q&A, which I'll be announcing tonight as of this recording, just hit the link in the description box below, head on over to my Patreon, hit the first tier, that'll allow you access to do so. Also, on the first tier, as of this recording, I just did my, albeit late review of Superman. So, if you want to get my thoughts on that, if you want to get my thoughts on Superman finally, just hit the link in the description box below, head on over to my Patreon, hit the first tier, boom. But yeah, so, let's get started with this Q&A. And our first set of questions come from Hunter Johnson, who asks, what would Ultraman think of Jet Jaguar? I think it's interesting because Jet Jaguar was it was Toho's response to like Ultraman and like all these other like Superman, all these other like superhero kaiju fighting characters. So to have him here is like to have them meet would be kind of cool. I will say though that I think having Ultraman would probably see Jet Jaguar as a worthy ally. It also depends on which Ultraman too. So let's say just the original Ultraman, for sake of argument. Let's just say it's the original Ultraman. So I think the two of them would be strong allies. Anyway, second question. If Ash Ketchum became a host for Ultraman, what would his aesthetic and color look like? Probably like a variation of his costume. I mean, his clothing, with maybe the helmet looking like his hat, or like the colors of his hat. I don't know. That's the best I got. Next up, Ultraman versus DC Comics Ultraman. Who would win? That's kind of a tough one. The DC Ultraman, we're not talking the movie. We're talking like DC Comics character, like the evil version of Superman. So that version of Superman, that version of Ultraman, the original evil one, has all the powers of Superman and even went on a Superman killing spree throughout the multiverse. So he murdered multiple Superman throughout the multiverse before he was finally at least that version of him was put down by Injustice Superman. So he is capable of fighting kaiju level monsters, but Ultraman isn't Ultraman's no slouch either. So it would really come down to, I think it's like at the end of the day, Ultraman wins. Which one? That's up to you. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Hunter. Moving on now to Chris, aka the Mount Vernon Kid. Thank you once again, bro. Oh, speaking of Ultraman and Chris, just want to show this to everyone. Brother, thank you so much for this in advance. But yeah, Chris sent me some new comics, which I'll be reviewing some point in the near future, but he also sent me some new movies and some DVD collections. This being one of them. This is the Ultraman USA series. This was the animated series that was set in America, and it was meant to be like an Ultraman anime series. But really, it only made a handful of episodes, so yeah, it's really cool to have this. Chris asked, do you have this? And I'm like, no, I don't. And he's like, got you. So thank you once again, brother, for this and the other stuff that was sent to me. Anyway. So Chris's first question is, when did you get in the Ultraman franchise? I got into the Ultraman franchise roughly around, probably I'd say 2017. I always heard about Ultraman. My dad was always a big fan of the original Ultraman show because it used to come on TV in the 70s, in America, dubbed. I needed water. So, Ultraman was always there. Like, Ultraman was always always around. So, that was the thing. Like, that was all, like Ultraman had always been around, so I was aware of it, but I didn't really get into the Ultraman, universe until, later in life. I'm still watching the classic Ultraman. I have there's so many. The thing is, once you start with the Ultraman series, you do not stop. That's kind of the thing. So there's so many Ultramen, and some of them are good, some of them are pretty bad. But on a whole, I have been enjoying the Ultra ride as much as I can watch it. Anyway, so second question: are you looking forward to the Ultraman Spider-Man crossover coming this year? I was looking forward to it, and Chris, you did send me the Ultraman Spider-Man crossover, the first volume. I think like I said, volume 2 comes out sometime, I believe, in like August, sometime this year. I know that, but yeah, I really did enjoy it. I was not expecting you to send that, but thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really did enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next with Doctor Doom and Mephilis's alliance. It was pretty solid. I liked it way better than the mediocrity that was the Ultraman Avengers crossover. Anyway, third question. The third question is: have I ever seen Shin Ultraman? Have I seen Shin Ultraman? Have I seen Shin Ultraman? Have I seen Shin Ultraman? Oh man. Have I seen Shin Ultraman? That's a great one, Chris. Yeah, I'd say I've seen it. I got the DVD of it because I was trying to find the Blu-ray, but when I was shopping for it, the Blu-ray was going out fast. So I just grabbed the DVD, even though I'm trying to collect more Blu-ray than DVD. But I was like, I had to bite the bullet and like had to get this. So yeah, that was kind of the thing, is that but I'm glad I have it, and I really enjoyed the movie. I really liked it. Do I like it more than Shin Godzilla? I don't like. I really like Shin Godzilla, but this is so much of the original show. It's such a lovely. It was very clear that Anno and Higuchi really are were major Ultraman fans, even more so than Godzilla, and this was their massive love letter to that franchise. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. Anyway, so there you go. Thank you for those questions. Chris, moving on now to Cyborg 19.99, who asks, first question, what anime, video game, cartoon, and movie would you cross over with Ultraman? I guess since it was Shin Ultraman, I would probably say the anime I would probably cross over is Evangelion. Yeah, I would say Evangelion, just so we could have all, because we had Shin Godzilla crossover with Evangelion. We're still getting we're still getting Evangelion and Shin Godzilla crossovers to this day. Like, that's still marketable. So yeah, just have it. Why not with Ultraman? Yeah, let's do a full on Shin Ultraman one now. For video game, I'd probably say the video game I would probably have Ultraman in. Maybe, what was it? Do you guys remember from the PS2 era, War of the Monsters? Do you guys remember that one? It was basically a game series where it was like 50s B-movie sci-fi monsters fighting each other. It was such a great game. It was so good. So probably have Ultraman in there. That would be the case, is probably have it be set with that, set with War of the Monsters. Cartoon, Symbionic Titan. Yeah, like it's not like either that or Megas XLR. Like, those would be the two I would cross over, but Symbionic Titan more so. Megas is I love Megas, but I would I kind of view Symbionic Titan as more of the more viable of the two. Anyway, movie, Pacific Rim. Yeah, that, I know that's kind of an easy one, but hey, we're here for it to be easy. So, yeah, Pacific Rim, just so we could have Gypsy Danger, and Ultraman fighting alongside each other against kaiju. And I would love to see the aliens from the Ultraman universe and how they would interact with and how they would combat the Jaeger units. I would that would be I think the main draw of having Mephiles or Zarab be the overarching villain. I think that could easily work. So I think something like that. So those are my picks for video game, movie, anime, all of that good stuff. But anyway, let's move on now to the second question. And the second question is Ultraman versus Fin Fang Foom. Who would win? Well, it's funny because we were supposed to get like in the Ultraman Avengers crossover. It's funny, really. In that one, you hear a lot about like in Ultraman versus Ultraman Avengers. They literally had a cover of Ultraman fighting Fin Fang Foom with the Avengers rushing to help, but we never got it. That's the problem with like some of these covers, especially for the. This is my same problem with Godzilla versus Hulk. One of the alternate covers is it had Jet Jaguar in the Godzilla versus Hulk cover, but he wasn't in the Godzilla versus Hulk comic. Some flagrant false advertising. At least we did get Ultraman fighting Galactus, but to have Foom there would have been perfect. Like it would have been a solid, it would have been really solid. I would have really enjoyed to see, I would have really enjoyed to have seen Ultraman fight Fin Fang Foom. But in a real fight, Foom, I would say Foom is dangerous because it's not like in Godzilla versus Avengers where they treat him like an idiot. Here, he's actually smart. Like he's actually like a scientist in a way. So he's smart, he's intelligent, but I would still give it to Ultraman. I will say, though, that I do think round one would go to Ultraman, and if Fin Fang Foom can get away, he would probably like try to devise like a new kind of like way to combat Ultraman. Because again, he's not an idiot. He's actually incredible. He's a scientist. He's actually like on like in some variations, he's been seen to be on the same level as like Reed or Doom. So I would say like Foom would be a valid threat. And why didn't we get it in the Ultraman Avengers crossover? Jesus, how fucking hard is it to do this, guys? It shouldn't have been rocket science, and you made it so mid. I can't get over it. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Cyborg. Moving on now to Bill McLaughlin, who asks, who is an actor you'd like to see play Ultraman? Now, when you say like actor playing Ultraman, I don't know what you mean by that. I don't understand that. So maybe like some actor. I just keep it a Japanese actor. Yeah, keep it an actor of Japanese descent. So maybe it'd be kind of cool to have Hiroyuki. I know he's kind of the go-to Japanese actor, but he is really damn good. Hiroyuki Sanada. Most of you guys would know best as like he's been in like he's been in so many films. Award-winning in Shogun, things like that. But Sanada would be, you also know him as Scorpion from the god-awful Mortal Kombat movies. But yeah, Sanada would be really cool as like an aged, weathered Ultraman, like a guy who's been bonded to the Ultraman for decades, and he's still keeping up the fight. It's like old man Shin Hayata. That would be kind of cool with that angle. Third question: what is your favorite aspect of Ultraman? My favorite aspect of Ultraman. Yeah, my favorite aspect of Ultraman would probably be something along like his hope for humanity. Much like how I love Superman, I really enjoy Ultraman's like absolute love and hope for humanity, and how he continues to see the best in humanity more than anything else. Sorry, I'm just trying to hydrate. So yeah, that would be my go-to pick for the answer, is that he just does not stop protecting us and wants what's best for humanity. So yeah, kind of the same reasons I like Superman. Third question: if you could have Ultraman battle a kaiju beside Godzilla, who would you pick? Well, everyone wants Godzilla versus Ultraman. Like that's kind of the thing, right? Like we all want to see Godzilla do battle with Ultraman in a one-on-one. Like hell, we all like there was a poll, like Toho social media literally asked, what is a crossover you want to see with Godzilla? And everyone was like across the board saying either Gamera or Ultraman. So it's hard not to say that. But if I was to pick, who would I pick for an Ultraman for like an Ultraman versus crossover? Gamera would be a fun one, just to see the two of them, like Godzilla's other two rivals in kaiju media, go head to head. I think that would be a really solid I think that would be a really solid one. Another one I would like to see. Um, Trying to think of like what other kaiju. Maybe for shits and giggles, Orga. I mean, not Orga, Gorgo. Yeah, Gorgo from the British kaiju film from the 60s. So those would be my picks, honestly. Anyway, any of those questions, Bill? Moving on now to Imagine8, who asks, I'm thinking of getting into Ultraman. What movies would you recommend I start with? Well, Shin Ultraman, that's kind of its own continuity, so you can watch that. But then I would recommend, hang on, let me pull them out real fast. Excuse me while I whip this out. I would recommend the classic Ultraman, because it's not movies. It was a TV series. It does have movies. Some are in continuity with some things, some are not. But Shin Ultraman's its own continuity, so I would say Shin Ultraman. But then I would recommend the original Ultraman show, starting with Ultra Q. Even though Ultraman's not in this, Ultra Q it's kind of like the Twilight Zone and features the Science Patrol. So it's really fun. Then the original Ultraman, and then Ultra 7, which is Series 3. Then just kind of go progressive through each series and see how you feel. But I would say Shin Ultraman and the first 3 Ultra shows from Subaraya Industries. Those would be my picks, honestly. Second question: do you ever think we'll get an American live action adaptation like Godzilla did? God, I hope not, because I don't think Subaraya is already kind of a stickler to work with, and we've had an American show, Ultraman 80, back in the 80s, and it was not great. But I will say though that I will say though that the Ultraman show, a live-action Ultraman show in America or a movie, I don't know if I could trust it, because I feel like they'd Americanize it too much. I mean, Godzilla, he's malleable enough where you can make an American variant of him, but Ultraman's too connected to Japanese culture, so I don't think I'd like it. Or if it yeah. Third question: do you ever think do you think that we'll ever get an official project when it comes to comics, movie, animation, or film where Godzilla, Gamera, and Ultraman all appear together? You know, there was a time where I thought that could never happen. Like, I always thought that since Godzilla couldn't do crossovers, there was a long period of time, like, none of you people like, a lot of you younger Godzilla fans understand how hard it was in that drought from 2004 to 2014 of just nothing, like a 10-year gap of just nothing for Godzilla. But now we have, and I would have said no, because Toho is too protective of the property. But now, between Godzilla fighting Marvel, the Power Rangers, the fucking Justice League, and also in video games where he's actually fighting Ultraman, you can have him fight Ultraman in Colossal Combat. I could actually see a day in the near future where we have Godzilla, Gamera, and Ultraman all together in some form of media on film. So, yeah, hell, that kind of happened in City Shrouded in Shadow, where we had Ultraman not meeting each other, but they were all in the same game together. So, honestly, yeah, I could totally see there could be easily a day soon where we get Godzilla, Ultraman, and Gamera on film, whether it be animation or comics or something like that nature. Anyway, I think those questions, Imagine8. Moving on now to Tom Hibbert, who asks, who would you say is your favorite Ultraman outside of the original? Ultra 7. Yeah, Ultra 7 is arguably my favorite of the Ultras, without a doubt. I really love his aesthetic. I love his rogues gallery. I love the whole story of Ultra 7. So, without a doubt, I love the original Ultraman, but Ultra 7 is my favorite of the Ultras. Second question: what are your thoughts on Ken Sato's arc in Ultraman Rising, where he has to learn to be a dad to take on his responsibilities? I thought it was pretty solid. I really liked Ultraman Rising. It was one of my favorite movies of last year. I really enjoyed a a lot of the themes of it. And someone who has a complicated relationship with his father, I can attest that, it's not always perfect. But also, then again, my dad didn't stab my mother in the back by sleeping with one of her friends. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Third question. Apart from Ultraman Rising, are you surprised that there haven't been many human Ultraman villains? Not really. It's been more about aliens than anything else. It's been really about the existential threat and more about humanity fighting as one. That's always what Ultraman has been about on a whole. So yeah, it doesn't really bother me. Thank you for those questions, Tom. Moving on to David Deister, who asks, what would a Ultraman Power Rangers crossover look like? It'd be cool. I'd really like it, but again, Subaraya is being way more of a stickler with crossovers than Toho is, and that's a crazy thing to say. Yeah, so I would probably say, it'd be cool, like, to see Rita team up with, like, Mephiles or Zarab, or maybe even use Zeton as a monster, and also to see the Megazord and Ultraman standing together would be really cool. Anyway, second question. Who would you get to write an Ultraman comic run? Well, I kind of got the guy I wanted for an Ultraman comic in the Marvel Ultraman books with Kyle Higgins. He's just kind of perfect. It's just kind of sucks that Subaraya breathed down his neck for all eternity, and I don't even know if they're going to be able to finish that book. But yeah, I got it with Kyle Higgins in the Marvel book. Third question. If Ultraman were to get a movie adaptation, who would you get to direct the movie? Well, we got one with Shin Ultraman, but if you were to say like an American movie, I would probably say, who would I pick, honestly? I'd probably have like Steven Kostansky, the director of like Psycho Goreman and The Void. He's also been my pick for Friday the 13th, but he's also good at doing like references to like Tokusatsu and all that. So I would probably say he would be the other pick for me. Anyway, so, all right. There you go, guys. Thank you for those questions, David, and thank you all for sending in questions. And like I said, if you'd like to be part of the next Q&A, just hit the link in the description box below. Head on over to my Patreon. Also, feel free to check out my review of Superman. That's all in the first tier, and I'll be announcing a new Q&A later tonight, so stay tuned for that. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. We'll see you next time in the Multiverse.